Hello everyone, in this tutorial I will show you how to change your image into this text portrait or text poster using Adobe Photoshop. But before we're gonna do that, make sure to subscribe and comment and leave a like. Alright, so let's get to it. Alright, so let's go ahead and open Photoshop and then let's go to File, New, and I will put 2000 pixels in the width, 1500 in the height, and I will keep the resolution set to 150, but of course if you want you can change that, RGB in the color mode and 8-bit, and I will press OK. Alright, now let's go ahead and open the image that we'll be using, which is this one from GD Mason. So we'll just drag it and open it in here. And let's make it bigger to fit the canvas somewhere. That's right here. And then I want to actually flip this horizontally, so I will right click and choose flip horizontal. And let's center it. Yeah, something like this, and I will one click on this check mark. Alright, next I want actually to make a selection, because it's very important to make a selection to have the text wrap only on the portrait. So let's go to select and choose subject. Alright, now I will go back to select and I will choose select and map and see if we're gonna do some changes. I think we'll be fine with this selection. It doesn't need to be a perfect selection. So I think something like this, it will work really good. And then the only thing that I want to do actually is to check this decontaminate colors. And I will keep it set to 100, and also for the output I will keep it to new layer with layer mask, which means that Photoshop will create a new layer with a layer mask, and I will press OK. Alright, as you can see we have a new layer, so let's delete this old layer, and while we are selecting the background I will go to adjustment and choose solid color, and I will keep the color set to black and I will press OK. Now let's delete this background in here. And also let's delete this layer mask and let's call this BG for background. Alright, next we need actually to create a displacement map for this effect to work, which is just like a black and white copy of the image. That is, we're gonna blur it a little bit too. So this way actually when we save it as a PSD, we can use it to add like a new element of the same image that follow the peaks and also all the peaks and the lows of the image that we have in here, which will be very useful for the text to follow the feature actually of the portrait for this example. Alright, so let's start by actually turning this to black and white. So let's go to adjustment and choose hue and saturation, and then I'm gonna drop down the saturation to make it black and white, and also I'm gonna clip it to the image in here that we have. Alright, next I will select the image, and then I will go to filter and choose blur, Gaussian blur, to blur it. And for the blur I will put like 10 pixels in the radius, and I will press OK. And now we are ready to save the image as a displacement map. So let's go to File, Save as a Copy, and let's call this map or displacement map, and I will press save, and in here I will press OK. Alright, now I want to go back one step of what we did, which is the blur filter that we added. So I will just press Ctrl Command Z to go back one step, and now we have our image set to the original. Alright, now it's time for us to create the text layer. So let's create a new layer on top of everything, and let's call this layer text, and then I will right click actually and change this to smart objects, because I want to use the text as a smart object. Now I will right click again and choose edit content, and this will open in a new tab, and then I will go to the type tool and I will make sure that it's set to horizontal type tool, And also the font I'm using, it's called Roboto. I will make sure to put a link where you can download this if you want to use the same font as I'm using. And also I have it in here set to black. And for the size of the font, I will change it to 16. And then I will go just right on the edge in here on the top left corner. And I will one click while I'm using the type tool to create a box just like that to fill the whole canvas. And you can use your spacebar to actually move this selection of the text just like that. And as you can see, when I let go, it will fill it with lorem ipsum, but I already have a text that I want to use or a lyrics from a song. So I will open this and I will select this. It's actually a song that's called Dust in the Wind. So I will select and I will right click and choose copy, and I will close this, and then I will press Ctrl Command V to paste, and I will do it until the whole canvas is filled. So I will keep pressing Ctrl Command V. Alright, now as you can see, we have the whole canvas filled with the text. Now we'll double click on this text actually to load the whole selection, and then I will one click on this icon to open the character style. And in here I have it set to -30 for the spacing between the letters. And also in the paragraph I have it set to this last one, which means that it will fill the whole canvas without any spaces in here, which is what I want. But I also want to put this a little bit down. Alright, and then I will one click on this check mark. Alright, now I'm just gonna close this smart object and press yes to save the changes. It's very important to press yes. And as you can see, we have our text, but this is not our final result. So in here we have the text, but I want to create a copy of this text. So I'm gonna press Ctrl or Command J to make a copy, and then I will call this to blurred. We'll change it to blurred, and I will hide it for now. Alright, next we're gonna actually apply that displacement map that we created on this text in here. So let's go to filter and choose distort and choose displace. And for the displacement option, I will put 20 for the horizontal and 20 for the vertical. And make sure that in here is set to stretch to fit, and also repeat edges pixel is select, and embed file data in smart objects is select, and press OK. And then this window will open to let you choose the map that you just saved. So I will one click on this and open it, and as you can see, the text in here follow all the flows, or like all the formats of the face. Even in the ear, you can see how it goes with the highlight and the shadow in here. Alright, now I will take this text that we added the displacement map in it. I will bring it down just under the portrait image, and then I will select this portrait image, and I will press Alt or Option to clip it to the text too. And as you can see, we have a really nice text portrait in here, but I want to bring some color to the image, and to do that I'm just gonna actually make a copy of the same portrait, and I will bring it on top, and I will clip it again by pressing Alt or Option and click in between, and then I will change the blending mode to color. Alright, now I'm gonna drop down the opacity to like 70 or 60%, because I only want a little bit of colors to the whole portrait. Next, I want actually to brighten this a little bit, or to make it more appear. So I will go to adjustment and choose level, and I will clip it to the whole clipping train in here, and I will take the highlight and I will pull it a little bit to the left, just to bring some highlight to the image. Yeah, something like that. I think it's working good, and this is actually depend on your image, so you need to experiment with this. Alright, so we're almost done. We only need to add the background, and also I want to add some flying letters or some flying fonts in here. Alright, so let's actually start with the background. I mean, we have this blurred text in here for the background, but as you can see, when I make it active, it actually overflow the whole other text. And to fix that, we need to apply a layer mask. So we're gonna apply the same selection of the man in here. So I'm just gonna load the selection of this layer mask by pressing Ctrl or Command and one click, and this will load the selection. And then I will select this blurred text, and I will press Alt or Option, and I will one click on this layer mask in here, and this will actually invert the selection to make the white black and the black white is not the same as this layer mask. Alright, next I want to actually apply a gradient on this. So let's go to adjustment and choose gradient, and then I will open the gradients in here, and in the basic folder I will choose this basic black to white gradient, and I will press OK. And then I'm gonna change the style to radial, and I want actually white to be in here instead of black. So I'm just gonna reverse this to be like this, and then I'm gonna scale it a little bit up because I want actually like the black to be just like a vignette. So I will scale it to like 125 or 140, and I will press OK. And then I'm gonna clip this gradient to the blurred layer by pressing Alt or Option again, and go between and one click, and this will clip it. And as you can see, this actually make this circle in here. And if you want to adjust this more, you can just double click on the gradient again and maybe scale it even more, like 66. I think it looks good. And also you can use your cursor to bring the white a little bit down, or to the left or to the right. But I think I will go for like 60%, and I will press OK. Alright, now I'm gonna select the blur layer, and I will make the opacity a little bit low, like 70% or 60. And then I want to apply a blur filter on this because I want to blur this text a little bit. So I will go to filter again, blur, and choose Gaussian blur. And then I'm gonna put down the radius to like 3 or 4. So let's go with 3 pixels, and I will press OK. And as you can see, this will create a really nice separation between the two backgrounds and make the portrait even stand out more. Maybe I will put up the opacity a little bit, something like 70%. Alright, now it's time for us to create the brushes of the letter to use them. So let's create a new file, and let's put like 500 pixels or 500 pixels, like a box, and press OK. And then I will select the type tool again, and I will one click, and let's actually type whatever letter, maybe Y, and let's put it in here. And then I will click on Alt or Option on my keyboard, and I will make a copy of the same letter, and I will change it to like B or O, and again create a copy and change it to B, and another copy and change it to, you know, like random letters. And let's create a copy, change it to X. Also, you can rotate the letters a little bit if you want, maybe make them bigger and smaller, something like that. And also, if you press Ctrl or Command, you can actually select, you can actually turn on the auto select. So let's actually rotate this C a little bit, and let's make a copy of it, and let's put like H. I mean, you need to be more creative with this if you want, but for this tutorial I think I will just do it quickly. Yeah, let's actually create one more like M and make it a little bit smaller, rotate it, and I think this will be fine for this image. So I'm just gonna select all this layer in here by selecting the first one and pressing shift and go to the last one, which is Y, and then I'm gonna press Ctrl Command E to merge all of them in one layer, and I will choose the marquee tool, and I will make a box where I'm having all the layers, something like this. Alright, and I will go to edit, and I will choose define brush preset to make a brush, and let's call this layers, and I will press OK, and now we have a brush. I'm just gonna close this and press no for not to save it, and now I'm gonna create a new layer on top, and let's call this brush, and then I'm gonna press F5 on my keyboard to actually open the brush settings, and I will select the brush tip shape, and I will make the spacing higher, like 70% or even more if you want. So let's keep it like 100, and I will go to the shape dynamic, and let's actually play with the size jitter a little bit for like 20 something or 30%. Actually, let's put it up to 50%, it's good. And let's see the minimum jitter, I won't touch it. I will go to the angle jitter, and I will rotate the layers to have that randomness. So let's keep it to 50% too. And in here I will flip the X and flip the Y, and then I will go to scattering, and I will check both axes, and I will scatter this a little bit, not that much, maybe like 100. And the count, I won't touch it. So let's actually use it just like this. So let's zoom in a little bit, and let's sample color, the same color that we have in here, and I will start actually clicking outside of the portrait. It's like this. Maybe I will make the brush smaller, yeah, something like that, and let's go in this area and in here too. I don't like this one, so let's delete this one in here, and let's continue using the brush. Let's do another one in here, but I will make the brush bigger by using my bracket key, yeah, something like that, and maybe in the back, yeah, something like this, and then I will make the brush smaller. Alright, I think I'm happy with this. I mean, you can spend more time with this if you want, but for this tutorial I think it looks really nice. Maybe you can match the colors even more using blending options. You can just double click on this brush to open the layer styles, and then use color overlay, and in here you can sample the same color, maybe even make it a little bit warmer, and press OK and OK, and I think it looks really nice. And if you want, you can add a little bit of blur, just a little bit. So let's go to filter, blur, and I will choose motion blur to make them like they are moving a little bit, and I will put down the distance quite a bit, like 2 or 3, because I don't want it to be that strong. Okay, let's keep it 3. Maybe like -7 in the angle, and I will put up the distance. Alright, something like this. I think it looks fine, and maybe I will drop down the opacity a little bit. I think I will delete this color overlay, and I will keep it just like that. Yeah, I think it looks really nice. So this is our final effect. So let's hope that you enjoy and you like this tutorial and it was a little bit helpful for you, don't forget to subscribe and comment, and wait for more tutorials to come. And have a nice day. Thank you for watching.